Alright, how's it going, everybody? This is Ismortah. It's been a while. Had some, holiday fam time, bird time, even some football time. But now it's time for some Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Get back at it. As I talked about before, I had one more deck that I had newly constructed that I want to show you guys, that I had meant to show you when I had revealed my Neo's Wiseman deck, but a storm... Oh no, that was a family thing that happened, so I'm eager to show you this new deck that I've made, and go from there. So, before I get started, I just want to check the Twitch audio. Be with you in a second. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Alright, sound balance looks good enough, so let's go, go, go. Alrighty, so might have been a tell, as you see right now. God, I keep forgetting her name. Well, let's go into her. Her name is
my strategies have
Ishizu.
no equal.
Ishtar, the older sister of Master Merrick. And she is a descendant of the Gravekeeper family. Why does that matter? Because that is my deck I'm going to show you, ladies and gentlemen, this evening. For the longest time I couldn't put this deck together because I didn't have the notorious card you need. That's like the soul of the deck, which is Necro Valley. But when the Dark Dimension box came out, you could actually gun for it, so that was fantastic, as well as they really added new support cards that really made the Gravekeepers deck actually sing. So now, instead of it just being hold the line like Amazon deck, but opposed to Amazons you win in combat, this you'd win by doing inflicting damage directly, passively. This is actually more offensive, and it has really cool synergy and engine that just came out of that box, and when you just augment it with the other Gravekeeper stuff, and of course Necro Valley, it is magically delicious. It's pretty good. It's pretty fun. I just wanted to do Gravekeepers because I thought it was a cool theme, and the fact that I could actually make a deck around it really inspired me to go off the deck and do it. So, you guys know the drill. What I'm going to do is talk about how this deck works in general, and then go through every card. As you can look at my deck list to see what the deck is and what each card does, and then I'll lace in the engines as I go through it, and then after I go through the deck to show you a couple examples of how it plays. So I made this deck weeks ago, and hopefully I didn't forget all of the strategies, but I just want to show you, like usual, the core of how it works and some key strategies that I know I came away with. Obviously, if you have different cards that can augment this, you may play a little differently or play just cards that you have, but I just want to show you basically a functional Gravekeeper deck. So, as you see, there's some fusion action, and I keep it limited, this one, to 20, because I really want to cycle through all of my cards as possible to get all of the goodies, all of the gems. So I want to keep the deck small. Chiefly because I don't have an effective way to cycle for cards. It's very limited. I'm able to do it, but it's very limited, and so you want to keep the deck short. That way there's a higher chance of you going through a larger portion of your deck and getting what you need. Yada yada. Alright, so again, this is a Gravekeeper deck, so I believe every single card in this deck is a Gravekeeper something, actually. Every single card, if I recall. So this deck has 100% synergy. Every single card is Gravekeeper or Necro Valley something. As opposed to decks like, for example, my Vampire deck, that is heavy Vampire, but this one has support zombies and Raw. This one has its ace card being really the fusion. But you can also argue the ace card is the Gravekeeper's Oracle, who's a 10-star, who's the ace. Whereas this is more the bread and butter of how I want to win the game is by having out this Supernaturalist. And then I have 2/3 ratio of creatures to other, so that you get what you need. But honestly, majority or like half of these other spells and traps, you're getting something out, so you will be able to play something. It's not like you'll get blocked by having all spells and you brick and lose. Alright, so let's go through it. So the first one here is Gravekeeper's Oracle. This guy is difficult to bring out. And when you look at, he's like, well, his attack isn't that hot, is only 2,000, so why even go after this? And it's really because when you play support stuff with him and trigger more of his abilities, you see he has multiple abilities down here that have the dots, that's when he really sings. When you get like many of those triggered abilities and stuff augmenting himself. Otherwise, you're right, like if you just play the card 2,000 attack, who gives a shit? Okay. So anyway, this guy, you could tribute 3 monsters, which is normal for a 10-star, or 1 Gravekeeper's monster to tribute summon. So I could do 1 Gravekeeper's monster, or 3 of any monster to bring him out. But for every Gravekeeper monster that's tributed, and you see I have all Gravekeeper monsters, you could also trigger multiple of these abilities. And you resolve them in sequence. So if I did 1 Gravekeeper, you do the first ability, 2 second, and 3 third. And these get progressively better. So the first one, he gets bonus attack based on the level of what was tributed. The second one is I can destroy all set monsters. So if he's trying to play coy, he can use this as a game-winning move because you can blow up everything that's set. And then the third one is all monsters your opponent currently control lose 2,000 attack and defense. So anything set is going to be destroyed. Anything in attack mode is going to have 2,000 less attack. So when you play Gravekeeper's Oracle, you really want to win the turn that you play him because it's so powerful. Want to bulldoze him through. So this is a card that I don't gun for, but I use if I'm able to do it. Because, yes, you can win the game, but you're still susceptible to traps. But you can create a super powerful creature that's just a wrecking ball. So I put one in there for shits. So if I get him, I can hold on to him until I need him. Or similar to like my YuGiOh deck, if I have him in my hand and I don't see any real way for me to get him out in a feasible manner, I could tribute him toward like the Supernaturalist or something to be fodder for other abilities. But most of the time I just hold in my hand until I'm able to use them. That's why I just have one. Next up is Gravekeeper's Spy, which is one of the new Gravekeepers. You can see I have 3 of them, and that's because it's similar to like the Vampire Retainer for a Vampire deck. It's really one of the core mechanics of the engine of the Gravekeeper's synergy. So this allows me, first of all, she has super defense, 2,000 defense without augmentation. So just saving your ass, defense mode, great card. But then when she flips, I can special summon a Gravekeeper monster with 1,500 or less attack from my deck, which is basically, if I recall, every single monster other than the Oracle. So all these other guys could come out with her ability, including herself. It doesn't. You know how a lot of these cards say you can't summon itself? This one you can. So you can use it like that one Dark Clown, that when it dies, you can have another one come out. When it dies, you get another one come out. You can keep special summoning them. If you special summon her in defense position, then you can do another flip. Well, actually, no, I don't think you could flip because special summon, it's face up, not face down. But you can use her to instantly get something else out. Why do you care? Because for two reasons. One, you can use it as a tutor to get out whatever creature you need in particular. And I have different types that have different utility. The second ability is it allows you, if you get attacked, to still have a creature in play that you can weaponize toward the fusion summon. Because you need to have creatures out in order to do a fusion summon. As you see in this deck, I don't have any polymerizations because it's a special summon from the fusion deck. But I have to have creatures out to do it. And so she allows you to make sure you have your guy is out so you can do that. So that's why I have 3. Plus she's just a fantastic defender, so just bread and butter, fantastic card. Gravekeepers Priestess is one of the original Gravekeepers from back in the day that you could only get from being a certain level with Ishtar. I'm actually not even high enough level with her yet to get it. I just blew one of my SR tickets on her. But I only need 1 in the deck, and I didn't feel like leveling her up all the way just to get 1. What's good about her is, you know, she has 1500 attack, and if you, without being buffed, I'll get into it when I keep talking about buffed here in a sec, when I get to the spells. But she also allows me to treat the field as though it has Necro Valley, even though I don't have Necro Valley out. So in effect, she counts as me having a 4th Necro Valley in the deck. And notice, because she's a creature, I can also tutor for her with Gravekeeper Spy. Because one of the caveats, for example, with a lot of these cards, including this fusion summon, is you need to have Necro Valley on the field. And with her out, I have Necro Valley on the field. So that's the main reason why she's in the deck. Is that I can tutor for a creature to get her out, so I need 1. And, you know, she's a decent defender. But not as good as the Spy. Another card, I don't recall where he's from. Let me check. Oh, he's from Odeon, actually. Is Gravekeepers Recruiter. So this one, I have 1 in my deck because I use him as another tutor. When he comes into play, when Gravekeepers Recruiter is sent to the graveyard, I can add a Gravekeeper monster with 1500 less defense from my deck to my hand. And notice this one says defense as opposed to her when she says attack, which means I can then get actually other creatures which I couldn't get with the Spy. I can't use him toward the Spy because she has 2000 defense, but I can use him to tutor actually for the Oracle because he has 1500 defense. So it's more ways for me to tutor the cards that I need. Because I can use her to tutor for him, and him to tutor for him. Next up, that I have 2 of, is Gravekeeper's Descendant. The reason why I have 2 Gravekeeper's Descendants is, 1, it's a bread and butter, 1500 attack unbuffed, but also I can tribute another Gravekeeper monster to blow up any card of the opponent's. So that's why I have 2, just so I weaponize the Gravekeeper. I thought about putting 3, but 3 don't currently fit. But that's something you may want to think about ratio-wise, is if you want to have more counter stuff, then you just put in a 3rd Descendant. Next up, I have Gravekeeper's Guard, 2 of them, for the same reason as the Descendant, just because he's a utility that can use to screw up the opponent's strategy. This guy has super defense, 1900 unbuffed, and when he flips, I can target any monster of the opponent and return it to their hand. So if someone's swinging in with a very powerful fusion summon or secret summon, this allows me to completely destroy that combo because it isn't banished, it doesn't go in the graveyard, it goes back to your hand, which is probably the last place where you want it. So these 4 cards are utility to really screw up the opponent's strategy. The next 2 I have is Gravekeeper Spiritualist. She is the key that I use to fusion summon this guy here, the Supernaturalist. You know, you have to be spiritual before you can be supernatural. You gotta believe, and then you have the power. Sure. Just shake your head. Okay. Anyway, what she does is decent attack and defense unbuffed, obviously. But also, if she's on the field and Necrovalley is on the field, I can fusion summon one spellcaster type monster from my extra deck. So if I have her out and any other Gravekeeper, I could bring out Supernaturalist, who just needs 2 Gravekeeper monsters. So I sacrifice herself and something else for him. And, you know, she also needs Necrovalley, so that's why I have 3 Necrovalleys and her, and be able to tutor for stuff. That way I make sure I have that combo. Next up I have Necrovalley Throne. What this does is it's really one of the other major components of the Gravekeeper engine. One huge component is the Spy, another huge component is the Throne. Why? Because this allows me to look for whatever I need. I can use this to look for a Gravekeeper monster from my deck, or I can use it so I can special summon a Gravekeeper monster from my hand. So whatever the situation is, I can adapt with this card. If I need to get stuff out quickly, or do 2 normal summons in 1 turn, that way I can use Spiritualist to summon the Supernaturalist. Great for that. Or if I need more stuff out in play because the stuff is getting knocked off by combat, I could bring back as well so I can use them again. So like if I want to have more guards and descendants, I can use it to bring them out of the graveyard. And that's why I have 2. 1 because I only have 2 of these cards, but it's a really good card. Ratio-wise, because I want to keep at 20, stuck to 2 decks, but it's a great card. That's another card you may think about having more than 2, just to have that more of that tutor ability, more consistent. Necrovalley, this is a card, if you're playing Gravekeepers, you probably always want 3 because it's so critical to not only any of the major combos with Gravekeeper, but just the fact that this card really screws up whatever the opponent is doing. Because you prevent them from doing stuff in the graveyard, which really locks out a lot of decks. I'll read it to you. 1, it disbuffs all of my Gravekeepers. Since I have all Gravekeepers, they're all 500 more attack and defense, so they're all, you know, beefier. But then also, cards in the graveyard cannot be banished. And any effects that affect cards in the graveyard is negated. And then I negate any effects that changes the type or attribute in the graveyard. So Necrovalley basically shuts down, for example, an Element Saber deck, changing traits, attributes. And then, for example, also shuts down a Vampire deck because you can't bounce stuff out of your graveyard, nor activate effects from your graveyard. So just having that card really locks down some of the most powerful decks that I have. It's going, and it's essential for several combos. What do I mean by several combos? We'll get into that. One of the combos that you need Necrovalley is for him, and another one I believe is for the Stele. Let me see. Oh no, Stele just allows me to get around allows me to get around the effects of Necrovalley. The Stele allows me to target 2 Gravekeeper monsters in the grave and add them back to my hand. So if I need more, if I want to reuse any of these essential bread and butter cards, or if I lose something vital, I could bring it back to my hand. And that's why I have that card. Sort of like another chance to get anything that I lost earlier in the match. Or did I sacrifice towards summoning the Supernaturalist? Hidden Temples of Necrovalley. requires Necro Valley to be out, so that's another card that requires Necro Valley, other than the Spiritualist to use. You have to have a Gravekeeper monster and Necro Valley out, and if you do, neither player can special summon monsters unless there's Gravekeeper. So if I have that out with Necro Valley, you can't special summon, the opponent can't special summon anything, they can't do anything in the graveyard. That means all they can do is normal summon, tribute summon, synchro, and fusion. So it's very powerful. And so that's why I have one of them in here. Besides the fact it's also a, yeah, that's good artwork. It's a continuous spell, so I really only need one, because once it's out, I can have it out forever. Same thing with Necro Valley Temple. It's a trap, but it's a continuous trap, so I can have it out forever. That's only I have one in the deck, so if I get it, I can just add it to my collection of powerful stuff. So if you look at my spells and traps, I'll have a field spell out. This is a one pump chump spell. This is a one pump chump, and then I have two out. That's continuous. What that means is I'll always have, even if I have both continuous both continuous cards out, I still have one space to play these one-time spells. Is the idea. So even if you have everything out, you can still play it. All right. So Necro Valley Temple. Also requires Necro Valley on the field, but if you have it out, it does something similar to Necro Valley, but the opposite. Instead of giving my creatures 500 more attack and defense, it makes the opponent's creatures lose 500 attack and defense. So you see, just with those cards combined, I can force 1,000 attack difference. So you see, like, for example, like that means the Gravekeeper essentially is a 3,000 attack, for example, without using his abilities, which would most likely make it close to 4,000 attack. And that's why I use my ace card. This card also allows me to activate a Necro Valley directly from my hand or graveyard if I don't have any card in my field zone. So if I don't have a Necro Valley, so this card can be out without Necro Valley. I can just only do its nerf to the opponent's creatures if Necro Valley is out, and a Gravekeeper monster. But if Necro Valley isn't out, this card can also allow me to tutor for Necro Valley from my hand or graveyard. So it's a good way for me to, if I lose one of these Necro Valleys, to get one out. And then I have 3. As well as her, which I can tutor. So essentially, cards that count as Necro Valley, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's like, it's very dependable that somehow that I always get one Necro Valley out every game. Most likely 2. And then if this trap is destroyed, I can set one Necro Valley spell or trap directly from my deck. And so if you notice, all these spells and traps have the word Necro Valley in them. So if I lose Necro Valley Temple, it allows me then to tutor and immediately put into play any one of these other Necro Valley cards. Well, except for Gravekeeper Steely. That's the only exception. But I can look for the Hidden Temple, or Necro Valley Throne, or Necro Valley itself, which is really cool. So I have a lot of ways to search for what I need, and then I have some utility to mess up the opponent, and some monster bonuses and nerfs, and just head-to-head combat. And then I have an ace card. But it's like, wow, well, that's a lot of stuff. What else do I have? Well, I have one more coup de grace. Let's check in the chats. Okay. Is Gravekeeper Supernaturalist. So the reason why I have 3 in this deck is because A, it's the max you can have of one creature, but because since I have ways to get out Gravekeepers from the grave, even though I only have 2 Spiritualists, I actually have 3 ways that I could play Supernatural. So I could essentially summon him 3 times in a match. That's why I have 3. So what does he do? I've already said how to summon him, but what does he do? He gains attack and defense equal to the combined original levels of the materials used for its fusion summon. So for example, if I have out the Oracle, and I use the Oracle and the Spiritualist toward him, he'll get 1400 attack, in addition to any bonuses from Necro Valley, which it has to be out to play him. So that means that'd be a 1900 attack bonus. He'll be 3900 attack. I mean, unless you have like a monster fusion or a divine creature, like you're gonna get stomped when this guy comes out. And that was the best case scenario. Actually, best case it would be 4400 attack. But just sacrificing, let's say 7, or the average 8, you know, you're giving him 800 attack plus 500. So that's he'll be a 3300 attack creature. So that's monster. In addition, while Necro Valley is on the field, this card and any card in my field zone can't be destroyed by card effects. So once I have the Supernaturalist out, you can't destroy my Necro Valley for the rest of the game, which is devastating. And then also during my main phase, I can activate the effect that at the end of that turn, I can add a Gravekeeper monster and or a Necro Valley card from my deck to my hand. So since every card I have has the word Gravekeeper or Necro Valley, at the end of every turn with the Supernaturalist, my turn, I can tutor any one of these cards from my deck to my hand. Any one I want. Which is awesome. So he's a monster of a creature. He makes it so you can't destroy Necro Valley, and then he allows me to get out any card I want from my deck. That is just crazy. Crazy good. And that's the deck in a nutshell. It has lots of searchability that reminds me of my vampire deck, but then it also has a bunch of utility to screw up the opponent, and these massive bonuses and penalties you can do in combat to make sure you always win combat. And that's the deck in a nutshell. So what special ability did I give the Gravekeeper? Honestly, right now, nothing great, because I need to level her or do some more duels in order to get some better skills to drop. But the one that I'm currently using is Draw Pass, just because it's the best one that she has, but this is not really a good ability for her at all. But definitely something that affects the Gravekeepers or just gives you another small boost to attack would be great in this deck, just to ensure you can like get upwards of 3,000 or even 4,000 attack to make sure again that you can always win combat. Alright, so let's see it in action. Again, I have not played this deck in weeks, so I may do something stupid, but the whole idea is for me not only to learn, but to show you how to learn how to play this deck as well. So that's what we find in the computer, so I can talk through it, narrate, and show you what I do and why I do it. Alright, here we go. Okay, while she's flipping and people drawing cards, get some water. Right back.
I have foreseen that this duel will end in your defeat, and you cannot escape your destiny.
Come on, let's duel!
Duel!
My turn! You'll love this! I summon a monster in attack
I won't go in second, because not only does it allow me to get water, but like I'm sure you've heard before, it's really the most advantageous. It's just weird, like, it's more advantageous in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links to go second than every other card game that's more advantageous to go first. So interesting. Just because you could do a surprise attack instead of having something sitting that someone can react to. That I find anyway. Okay, so I got some Necro Valley stuff, so Gravekeepers, pretty good spread. So we'll see what we want to do. I could add another Gravekeeper monster from my deck to my hand, or normal summon twice, but this guy can't be normal summoned. Well, actually, yes, he can. but I have to tribute for him, and I don't want to tribute her because I want a special summon, so... I think I may use this to tutor for an advantageous card. I'll definitely go ahead and put this one out.
My field spell card activates. Necro Valley.
And of course, it's cool playing with her because she's a Gravekeeper, it's her stuff. She then adds that flavor text to whenever you do something, which is really cool also. I'm all about the theme, so... And that's why I want the beard, because like, I really like the whole Millennium Item Egyptian theme of dual monsters, so... That's my primary interest, initially.
From my hand, I activate a spell.
So I want to add a monster from my deck to my hand. Yes. The question is what? I could get her so I can block and then get another creature out. Or I can use one of these guys to make something go back. Or I could blow up a spell. But I think I want to show you the core combo, so I'll use the Spy. Because she's good defense, and then I can tutor again. Because also what's good about getting a lot of cards out of my deck, regardless if it's something I want, is it makes my deck smaller. So when I draw a card, I have a higher chance of getting the cards I need, because there's not many cards left in the deck to go through. Just the math of it. So I'll get her out. And actually, I think I'll start with her. That when she dies, another creature will come out, and then right when I play the Spiritualist, I can instantly then put out my Supernaturalist. That's what I'm going to try to do anyway. But she is going to be 1700 attack, so actually I could also... I know flipping would be more powerful. So I'll just not get greedy. Hopefully it doesn't backfire.
I set a monster face down. I end my turn.
Because I am keeping him alive, and if I killed this creature, he couldn't tribute summon or play an equipped card on the creature. So this could be a bad idea. We'll see.
I set this card face down. Let's battle. Go! I attack you with my monster.
If I did my math right, he's gonna get hit for 1,000 damage. And like that's awesome because
Gravekeeper Spies
that's 1,000 damage that you couldn't use to like activate a trap card or something. So it's or abilities that require life to weaponize. Okay, so I can get another creature out. The question is, what do I want to do? I think because he has something in the background, I'll get out him. He'll be 1700 defense anyway, so I can still block his other creature. And I can even put him in attack mode too.
Come to me, Gravekeeper's descendant!
That's the end of my turn.
Cool.
My turn. I draw.
At first I wondered why on the Spy they didn't do a outline like every other creature. I think it's because they wanted to show her shadow, so that's why they just took a picture of the wall. But you typically don't see that. Okay, so I'm going to put this down, so that can trigger when I want it to. Next turn. And then... I could technically... Well, this counts as a tribute summon, not a special, so I can't do that and this at the same turn. So I'll just go ahead and do her.
Now, I summon a monster in attack position.
Cool. So I'm going to use her ability. I'm probably going to get rid of her, even though she's 2500, just because that way I can use this guy to blow up any traps. Actually, you know what I could do? Actually, I could use him to weaponize her to blow up the trap in the back. And then I can use these two creatures to then bring out him. I think I'll do that. Might as well clear the field. Plus, I could show you how these other cards work, which is really the most important part of this anyway. And the trick is, he can only tribute a Gravekeeper that's face up. And yes, she's set, but she's face up. So, I'm sorry. She's not set, she's in defense position, face up. Set means you're face down in defense position. Oh, I'm sorry. Set means you're face down, because you can have traps face down and it's not sideways. Okay.
Gravekeeper's Descendants effect activates.
What's cool is this can blow up any card, so I don't have to necessarily blow up back row. I could blow up a field spell or creatures. It's just the fact that I don't know what's back there, I want to get rid of any sort of benefit. Since I know if I get rid of that, I can win combat. Okay. And then I use her ability.
My monster's effect activates.
And of course, having white hair means you're super powerful. So. Or something. I mean, if it worked for Magneto, right? Oh, man. I thought I had to use fusion monsters in play. I can do in play or in my hand. If that's the case, might as well do the Gravekeeper Oracle, so it gets max value. Oh man, you're about to see. Man, someone gets smacked with a bat across the face. This guy's gonna be ultra powerful.
I fusion summon a monster. $3,900 attack, and I have a 2,000 attack. This is game right here. Crazy. My second turn. My monster's effect activates.
If this game went, if to end my turn, which it won't, I'll get another free card for my deck with his ability.
Let us battle. Gravekeeper's Descendant attacks. And now, I shall attack you with my monster.
Oh, he's got 200 remaining.
Going down.
He's a lucky duck. So now I can get any card I want. And I think what I want to do is probably... this guy, just so I can negate in case something happens. Actually, I can do her into him. No, because he can't do that because he won't be set. I'll get one of these guys.
That ends my turn.
This ain't over yet. My turn. I draw.
Plus, I got this trap that can trigger as well to make his creatures even worse.
I shall extinguish that.
So they'll have another difference of 500 attack and defense.
Card. My continuous trap activates.
I'm done with my turn.
It's my turn. I draw.
Let's go ahead and get hidden temples also. We're gonna have all the temples.
My continuous spell activates. Hidden Temples of Necro Valley.
So I have Necro Valley Temple, and Hidden Temples of Necro Valley. I got all the valley, all the temples. We are ready to summon something truly special. Which is already out, but it's like, wow, we have max Egyptian shit going on here. So go ahead and put this guy face down so I can use him.
I set a monster face down.
And actually with his ability, if I had him face up, I could have blown up his creature and then swing in for 3,900 attack. But I have 2 creatures anyway, so I should be able to live.
My monster's effect activates. It's my battle phase.
This guy will count as 3,000 attack technically.
Allow me to proceed. I shall attack.
And then go for it.
Allow me to proceed. My monster attacks you directly. Aw, I lost. I have won, but I have foreseen the day when we shall duel again.
Cool. Well, since we have some time, I will... Ooh, I got 600 more gems. Yeah, that's another pack. I'll do this deck one more time so I can show. Okay, I'll play something that's a little more annoying. We'll do Circus Trick. He's gonna be stealing my stuff and bouncing cards just like I do. This will be an interesting matchup. Definitely a more difficult matchup since I'm putting out valuable stuff. Only because that deck will use it against me.
As long as there is a single glimmer of light, I will fight to overcome the darkness.
I'm gonna win, you're gonna lose, and that's all there is to it.
Duel! My turn.
Alright, lucked out with getting Necro Valley out, which is awesome. And the reason why I always want to have Necro Valley out regardless is because you prevent someone from using their grave. So just hopefully try to limit what other decks do.
My field spell card activates. Necro Valley.
Okay, so let's get Spy out.
I set a monster.
We'll put this out to bluff, but it'll activate when the other card activates.
I set a card face down on the field.
All we
I
can
end
do.
my turn.
My turn. I draw. Let's go. I summon a monster in attack position. I set a card. I set a card. Battle. You can do it. My monster attack.
Slam.
Ah! You'll have to do better than that.
Gravekeepers Spy's effect activates.
So you know you drill. Obviously the card I want to go for is her, so I can do the combo immediately.
Very well. I special summon a monster.
I end my turn.
My turn.
So it's like you have 5 of that creature. In fact, you can use spies towards spiritual.
I draw.
Okay, so now I can do Hidden Temples. This is just to help lock out the opponent, the fact that it'll stop them from doing special summons.
My continuous spell activates.
Which is
Hidden
great, because
Temples
like
of
if he
Necro
has
Valley.
clowns, that dark clown that he can bounce if the clown dies, he can't do that at all. No special summons. It's great. Or like the Tricky, no special summons. Plus I could blow up his back row with this stuff too.
Come to me, Gravekeeper's descendant.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and blow up one of these cards in the back.
Gravekeeper's descendant's effect activates.
Let's see. Hopefully that's the good one.
I can
Nope.
read you plain as day. Check out this face down card. My trap activates.
That sucked, but it didn't stop what I was doing.
My monster's effect activates.
Plus, since he triggered, then he can't use to stop my attack because stuff is already changed. So if I put something after the fact, it can still be in whatever position that it originally came out in. I think I want to keep the guy out so he's out. So I think I'll do this.
Now, I fusion summon a monster.
Right. Go ahead and do his ability.
My monster's effect
So that
activates.
even if he dies, it gets removed from play, his ability will still trigger because I've already activated the ability, which is what's cool. So let's say I put him down, I swing in, and he has a trap that takes him out. I still get his ability that I can tutor at the end because I've already triggered it during my main phase. What's interesting with the Descendant is, I thought I could only do it once per turn, but it looks like if I keep sacking monsters, I can keep blowing up cards. It doesn't say there's any limit. It doesn't say once per turn or anything. That's interesting. Like, it gives me the ability that I can do it again, right here.
Let us battle. Allow me to proceed. I shall attack you with my monster.
Now, check
Uh-oh.
out this face down card. My trap activates.
Okay, it flipped, but now I have a weak defense creature, so... Alright. That's a good play. So he's most likely gonna die. I need something else, so I think I'll do this combo again. Get her out. Because I could gun for a second one to play. But I could also gun for a Necro Valley, so like I could gun for a temple. I could do a temple, actually. Yeah, let's do a temple. Because that give me a 500 bonus versus... no, I think this probably still a better play.
I end my turn.
Get
Oh,
ready
I was
for
only to end a
this.
turn. Oh wow, so I still
My
got
turn.
3,300
I draw.
defense.
My
Nice.
monster's effect activates. I set a monster.
Ooh,
I
that
end my
returned
turn.
it to my hand.
My turn.
Or wait, what did I do? Return it to my hand, which then, yeah,
I
that was a
draw.
good move. Cool, so I got that anyway, so I'm definitely gonna play it.
I set a card face down on the field.
I could just blow up a card.
I
Set her.
set a monster.
Let's swing in.
It's my
Crutch
battle
annoying little
phase.
shit needs to die.
Gravekeepers Descendant attacks.
Ah! You'll have to do better than that.
I end my turn.
Get ready for this. My turn. I draw. I set a monster. I set a card face down.
I shall extinguish that. Here's my face down card. My continuous trap activates.
I end my turn.
My turn.
Alright, so now I got a 500 nerf and a 500
I
bonus,
draw.
so got some good shit. I can tutor for another card. Or add something from my... I can tutor or normal summon twice in a turn. I don't have any creatures, so I could just get something out of my deck. Which I might as well do, but I'm going to do her ability first. Just because then it's like I have two tutors.
Arrive! Gravekeeper's Spy! Gravekeeper's Spy's effect activates. Very well. I special summon a monster.
So then what I can do is I can use Necro Valley Temple to bring the Oracle into my hand
That way I could sacrifice the Oracle and Spiritualist for an even more powerful Supernaturalist. Well, actually, so I built some of the most powerful Supernaturalists actually in the game, because it'll be sacrificing the Oracle as well as having the benefits of the Necro Valley Temple and Necro Valley. So this could be magically delicious, actually.
From my hand, I activate a spell.
Add a Gravekeeper monster from my deck to my hand, yes. Yep. Okay. Then
My monster's effect activates.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Very well. I fusion summon a monster.
So he's 3,900 attack, but then I can nerf the opponent by 500, so it's effectively 4,400 attack. That is a spicy meatball. Triggers
My
ability,
monster's effect activates.
and then I can use this to blow up his back row.
Gravekeepers' Descendants effect activates.
I was waiting for this. I reveal my face down card. My trap activates.
The better move there would have probably been to do that before doing the summon. I was just afraid that it was like something that could blow up the Spiritualist before I can get it out, sort of thing, but anywho. I can still change my position because I haven't done that yet. And I'm going to swing and attack with both. Well, at least with him. Because I might as well. Because it'll be effectively 2,500 attack.
Let us battle. Allow me to proceed. My monster attacks.
And I dig for another card. I think this time I'll dig for... I don't need any of these. Let's go with these guys.
I end my turn.
I believe in my cards. It's my turn. I draw. I set a monster. I set a card. I end my turn.
My turn. I draw.
Okay.
My monster's effect activates.
Do that. I'm going to normal summon him because I'm going to weaponize him.
Now, I summon a monster in attack position. Gravekeepers' Descendants effect activates.
Okay. I'll swing in.
Let us battle. Here I go. I shall attack you with my monster. Here I go. I shall attack.
I'll do this so I can summon twice or get something else.
I end my turn.
I believe in my cards. It's my turn. I draw. I set a monster face down. I end my turn.
My turn. I draw.
Still got 5 cards left, and worst case scenario, if this goes a little long, I can use her ability to draw a pass. So, but there's better abilities to use with this deck. But again, just the best that I have, and ironically in this situation it'll save me in case this match goes much longer, which it shouldn't. Really long for a Yu-Gi-Oh game, actually. So I'm gonna blow up that card. I'll just weaponize the guard again.
Very well. I summon a monster in attack position. Gravekeepers' Descendants effect activates.
Yep. Then I can use Temple.
From my hand,
And I'll
I
show
activate a
you
spell.
the second ability. Since I already did one normal summon, I can do a second one. Get her out.
Arrive! Gravekeeper's Spy!
So it's cool in this situation. That means if there's another card out, I could then use his ability again. Oh no, you can only, okay, you can only do it once. I just didn't, okay. So it's like you can just Zerg, get everything out as fast as possible when there's nothing in the background, go boom, boom, boom.
My monster's effect activates. Let us battle. Here I go. I attack you directly.
You were awesome. Who knew losing could be this much fun?
I have won, but I have foreseen the day when we shall duel again.
Well, cool. Well, that is the Gravekeeper deck in a nutshell. Again, like, I just feel like the Gravekeeper deck not only needing Necro Valley, no one could even play the cards because no one had Necro Valley, but the fact that now they have this cool engine that they added really breathed life in this deck, and it's a lot of fun. And very themey, too. And has some good utility for shutting down the opponent's whatever they plan on doing as well. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. One of my faves. So this could be the last Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links for a while. I have other content planned, and when I bring Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links back again, I want to do it during either a cool special event or have new decks to show. So this could be a little bit of a pause on that for now. So next Monday, 7 p.m. PST, it's still going to be Steam session, Steam games, but the next game I'm going to show you is Talisman. I got the new expansion that came out many months ago that I forget what it's called, but it had to do with when your character dies, you can actually do stuff in the afterlife as well as objectives to win the game, which is pretty cool, or come back. So I'm going to be playing some Talisman next week. My next stream, though, is this Wednesday, 7 p.m. PST, and for that, I'm going to be showing a rerun, but have it be at a highlight version, so it's shorter, of Sea of Thieves, as well as have it also on YouTube, Sea of Thieves as well. Look for that Wednesday of this week. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Again, this is Ismortah. The week's, going strong, but the year is about over, so I'm still trying to pump out what I can do with Elemental's Light and Dark before the Kickstarter in January of next year, so look for that then. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your support. I'll catch you next time.